Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, guys? Welcome back here to another live stream here. We're going to be doing ourselves another update here for y'all. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and get everything all set up and good to go. But I hope everyone's doing good. Like I said, glad to have y'all here for another update. We're doing a shorts update here. This time because we did our normal update earlier and everything like that. But we decided I'm going to go live again for you guys because now we have final hurricane model data for potential tropical cyclone 15, which is a new storm that is in the works. But once again, everybody, hope everyone's having a great evening. Let's go ahead and finish getting everything set up here. What's up, Scott? Hope you're doing good, man. Saying hi, Andrew, and everyone else. What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Alrighty. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and talk about this guy. So like I mentioned, the name is PTC 15, Potential Tropical Cyclone 15. This was previous 95L that we were watching. It does now have a new name, like I said, PTC 15. So same, not much has changed since the last update regarding its position and its pressure and stuff like that. But for the people who were not here, right now the storm is sustained around 35-ish. It's almost a tropical storm force, and central low is down to 1,005 millibars and continually dropping. Currently movements west-northwest around 6 knots or 7 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the satellite imagery here. We're going to bring our mid-level water vapor, our lower level of water vapor there. You guys can see that there is quite a bit of convection going on in the storm there. You can obviously see that counterclockwise circulation happening. The storm here is expected to impact the eastern Yucatan Peninsula, here making landfall tomorrow afternoon. And as we're going to see here on the models, there is a shot for that storm to cross into the eastern Pacific and actually become something out there. So it's not just going to end in the Caribbean here. Of course, we still have that one little system that we are monitoring as well up here just north of Puerto Rico right now. Does got a bit of convection on it right now, but the probability of this thing developing into anything is like super low. Right now, the probability is 30%. Actually, I think they increased that. I think they did increase that. It was at 20% if I'm not mistaken earlier. So they did increase that, but still pretty low odds of this thing developing. But all eyes are on this guy right here. Now, this one does have a potential to maybe even be a hurricane down in time once we get into the EPAC. Which stands for Eastern Pacific, people who don't know that terminology. What's up, Legacy? Saying what's up? What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Indiana? By the way, Legacy, I always say man to everybody, so trust me. Let's see here. Well, Indiana, hope you're doing good. See, I've been dealing with a headache and fever. Oh, yeah, me too. I've been dealing with that for a couple days now. I don't know, something going around. I don't know what it is. But anyways, yeah, this is the storm we're watching, y'all. We're going to keep an eye out there for it. So let's go ahead and hop over to the graphics, and then we'll dive into the models and have some fun with that. So here's the latest precipitation outlook from the NHC. This is official overall. This is official information from the Hurricane Center. Now, the point of landfall, once again, we're going to see that landfall out there kind of towards the eastern Yucatan Peninsula. And we're going to be having about 8 to 12 inches out there, locally higher amounts, which that equivalents to right around 200 to 300 millimeters of rainfall. Please keep politics and religion out of chat, please. So, yeah, we don't want, like I said, this is a weather channel. We're just trying to update people on the weather. No need for all that right now. But yeah, like I said, 12 inches or greater in some spots out there. Also out there towards southern Mexico, could see a good 12 plus inches out there as well. So definitely pretty interesting. What's up, Peachy saying, hey, Andrew in chat. What's up? What's up, Jack saying, oh no, yeah. This one, this one's going to be a concern, not for the U.S. by the way, for the people wondering. No, this is not a United States concern. This is a concern for like Mexico, that we're going to keep an eye out there for. We're going to hop into models now. We're going to talk about those because, like I said, the models actually are having this thing. First of all, let's look at the spaghetti models. Models actually have this thing going into the Eastern Pacific as well, like tracking into the EPAC. Let's go ahead and bring up my little pen here so I can draw on the screen and stuff. Seems like there's something going on in this community. Woke up fine this morning. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Gotta be like a cold or something. I mean, I guess we are kind of getting towards, flu season and stuff too. Anyways, but yeah, here's spaghetti models. So you can see the median there. You know, majority of the models do have this thing supported into the Eastern Pacific as well. We're gonna monitor it and just see how it kind of handles going over land, because like I said, they obviously do not like going over land. That's kind of their big problem there, because it really disrupts that lower level wind field and everything like that. You can see the hurricane models, the majority of them have this thing, you know, getting into a tropical storm status. So we might get into lower tropical storm force before we make landfall and kind of steadily lose a bit of strength. Then as we pass back into the waters, there's a few models that have this thing actually maybe strengthening a bit more. So we're going to have to closely monitor that because, you know, some of the models as we're getting ready to look into more in depth is going to show you that there might even be like tropical storm and maybe even hurricane potential once we roll our way into the Pacific. So we'll have to see about that. Let's see here. Do I need any moderators for chat? I could use some. Yes, if you would like to apply, you can go in our Discord, which is, I don't think I have it on here. Here, let me grab a link for you guys. For the folks who want to join our Discord, let me go ahead and just get a temporary link for everybody here. I'm gonna throw that down in the chat for y'all. There you go. There's our Discord if you want to follow, or if you want to join that and apply. You can apply there. See. But yeah, so, you know, models are on board with the thing. But let's go ahead and talk more of those in-depth, like, individual models here. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty here. So we're not, like I said, right now we're at potential tropical cyclone 15. This is no longer 95L. This is now 15. So this is HWRF, the latest 18 Zulu run, having this storm here strengthened just before landfall. Once again, tomorrow landfall is going to be like late morning, early afternoon is when we're expecting that landfall to occur. So we'll definitely be monitoring that. We'll definitely keep an eye out there for that overall. So according to this HWRF model, it shows that low down to right around 995 millibars. If we take a look at those lower level winds there's going to be a little bit of that coastal areas with some of those wind barbs around like 35 knots or so. So that would be like sustained winds of around 40 to 45 miles an hour roughly. That would put it in the tropical storm force. That's actually why we have tropical storm watches already in effect here. No, this is not hitting Florida. This is currently no threat for anywhere in the U.S., so that's good news. But a little bit different for the eastern Yucatan Peninsula up there in Mexico. Let's see here. I believe, yeah, this might even have some impacts out there. Here, we're gonna turn on our list, our names here. This might even have some impacts like near Cozumel. Yeah, Cozumel. While majority of the winds will be south, there could be some precipitation out there. We're gonna pop up the Hurricane Center's forecast here again. What's up, Nancy? Hope you're doing good. Because like I said, they did put out a rain forecast. Oh yeah, so out through towards like Cozumel, we could pick up a good like 2 to 4 inches out there, which not everybody uses Imperial. So for the people who don't, that's around 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall, which is, you know, pretty good amount. Pretty good amount. Like I said, no, this is not going to hit Florida. This is going to stay away from Florida, thankfully. So that is good news. However, like I said, it is going to impact areas in South Mexico that we need to look out there for. And then, like I mentioned, this thing has potential to redevelop into a tropical system as we approach our way into the EPAC. Yeah, that's going to be something we really need to look out for. Turn over to infrared satellite view. You can see, I mean, it's a pretty big storm. And by the time we approach landfall tomorrow, we're gonna have a lot of storm activity. And like I said, the storm itself, I mean, as you can see, is a pretty good size. You know, it's a pretty good size storm. You know, we'll continue rolling our way inland there. The convection will start to die off a bit as it goes over those mountains, but then quickly kind of regain itself once we approach into the waters. Then the storm will start to strengthen. And good old-fashioned HWRF has to show a gnarly storm. So, we'll have to just monitor it and see how it does. So like I said, it shouldn't have any problem with moisture. Moisture is going to be fairly good for a while on that storm. That's one of the main things that you got to look out for, and when forecasting tropical cyclones is not only like sea surface temperatures, but also like upper level patterns, like wind shear. You don't want any wind shear, and you got to monitor moisture. It's really the three main things you got to look out for: it's shear, moisture, and how hot the surface temperatures of the ocean are. So, but all conditions seem conducive, meaning available for further strengthening as we work our way down in time. And then, like I said, you can see that cyclone weakens as the pressure goes up. Like I said, pressure rising means the storm is weakening. Pressure dropping means the storm is strengthening. So from right now, you can see as we get towards landfall, that number does drop. So right now we're right around 1,000. Like I said, we're at 1,005, and we're going to be dropping to possibly around 995, according to this model, just before landfall. And then you can see how the pressure, as we start to hit those mountain ranges, the pressure rapidly drops to 1,007, barely low, honestly. But then once it gets back into the water, you see that pressure really start to drop again, and that system starts to potentially strengthen quite a bit. Moving on to HMON here, this model here shows kind of a similar idea. The pressure getting down to a little bit higher, but right there down to 998. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And of course, the pressure will weaken as we go through the land here. But then once we come back out on the other side, then according to HMON as well, the storm does pick up as well. So we're gonna have to look out there for that. The good news about that, though, is that if this thing does redevelop into the Eastern Pacific, it shouldn't really be a big problem for land areas. However, it could cause some ocean like rip currents and all kinds of stuff like that there towards southern Mexico. Due to how big that storm could potentially get. So that's why this matters. But other than that, no direct landfall after it passes out. If this is going to be a tropical storm, yes, that would be the next name. I don't know how you pronounce that next name. Is it Nadine? Nadine. It's not Natalie. It's not. It's Nadine, I think it is. I could be wrong. Once again, that's one of my weak things is telling names. I'm terrible with town names, people's names, storm names. You name it. But yeah, so like I said, we're going to see that landfall tonight. Tomorrow morning. Or late tomorrow morning, early afternoon. Nadine. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. So it'll be late tomorrow morning, kind of early tomorrow afternoon is when we're expecting that landfall to occur. And like I said, there's a chance this thing could be a tropical storm by then, by the time we approach that time period. HMON has those winds, a little wind field, not a big wind field, but shows some of those winds there around 30 knots towards the core. Some areas near 40 knots that would push us into low end tropical storm force. The good news is that this thing's not going to be like a hurricane or anything like that at landfall, but once we cross back into the Eastern Pacific, then it could become a hurricane, because it does seem like conditions are very much favorable afterwards. All right, moving on. HFSA. This is another model here. This one shows that low down to lower 1,000 millibar mark, barely even in tropical storm force. Honestly, we would be gusting in tropical storm force, but this would more be like a depression, according to the HFSA. However, then of course, like all the other models suggest, once we get into the Eastern Pacific and away from land, the storm does start to pick up some more heat out there. Pick up some strong winds overall. So we'll have to just monitor that as well. So it seems like we have a trend here. Here's HFSB showing that storm all over the place, really. Yeah, HFSB doesn't really know what it's doing, to be honest. It doesn't really grab a hold of that storm. GFS has it making landfall around 1,003 millibars. That once we get back into the, once we get into the Eastern Pacific, there we start to strengthen. Then eventually kind of fade out. Probably due to dry air, I would assume. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, eventually just kind of loses a hold of all that moisture. You can see all that just kind of goes to the north, which obviously, you know, the more further you look at the GFS, or models in general, the further you look out, the more inaccurate they become. So there's a lot of changes that could be made at this hour, but yeah, I mean, you can see all that moisture just like kind of detaches. Just like, I'm out of here, boy. So, you know, that's kind of what the GFS was talking about. Euro, on the other hand, ECMWF, oh, look at that, wow. Holy cow, Euro actually agrees as well. This thing could become a pretty solid hurricane. A pressure down in the 950s. Wow. Absolutely. Very small wind field, though. Look at that. It's really not a big wind field, according to that one. Holds on the moisture for a while, and then, like I said, the dry air gets to it eventually. So, yeah. So from the way the models are talking, it really does seem like a good possibility that once we make landfall, like I said, in the Yucatan Peninsula, we could have some tropical storm conditions along the coast there. We do have tropical storm watches in effect, so we're looking out there for that. Then, of course, we roll inland. You know, there's going to be quite a bit of rainfall out there. And then, of course, we go back in, or we go into the Eastern Pacific, where it's met with warm water, tons of moisture, and little wind shear, which that will basically give the storm the conditions it needs to really thrive and to really start to kick off out there. So, you know, that's something we'll keep an eye out there for, you know. And like I said, tomorrow I will probably do landfall coverage. I'm going to try to. So we'll see how that goes, stuff like that. And like I said, we'll keep you guys updated with the system here. Right now, it's just kind of a problem for Mexico. Once again, this is not a concern for anywhere in the U.S., by the way. This is just a bit of a concern for the Yucatan Peninsula. Right now, once again, Florida, way away from all this. Cuba, all them areas are good. But, you know, right now we're kind of mostly focusing out there towards the eastern Yucatan. The storm's going to roll through and then kind of drop there, and then continue to the west out in the Eastern Pacific, which then at that point could become a hurricane. But for right now, like I said, we're going to be likely in tropical storm force, potentially. It seems like the models have this thing at weak tropical storm force, so should be, like I said, should be relatively fine. The main concern's not going to really be winds for you guys or any surges or anything like that. Well, it'll definitely be windy, but it's not going to be anything super nuts. The main problem is the rain. That's kind of where the main issue comes along. Because, like I said, you know, there's a good shot that we could have a pretty darn good amount of rain out there in some spots. I mean, like southern Mexico has a good swath of a good 4 to 6 inches, which is 100 to 150 millimeters. And of course, you know, we got these little orange spots, potentially locally out there towards where that landfall site could be, as well as over here towards basically southern Mexico. We could pick up, you know, like I said, 12 plus inches of rain out there. Pretty good amount. Hurricane Milton passed. Yes, it did, a long time ago. Definitely, that was a crazy storm, man. I was actually in the eye wall of Milton. I was in the northern eye wall of Milton when it passed over. It was upper, kind of mid-level category 2 at that point. It was quite a storm. I'm kind of glad it's over with, honestly. Let's see here. So, like I said, we also got this little guy down here, too. Just north of Puerto Rico. Let's see here. So, like I said, this one has a pretty low chance of development here. It did have a 60% at one point. Dry air really got to it. Now it's doing a little bit better now. Actually, if we take a look at the satellite imagery, You can actually see it's convecting pretty good. And you can actually see that a little bit of a counterclockwise spin to it. So it's doing a little bit of something. Let's see here. Did Milton reach 1 for the strongest hurricane instead of Rita? Don't know the exact records on it, but I do know it was one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in the Gulf. One of the strongest in the Atlantic for sure. Now Milton was a beast, regardless, and you know, Florida, as hard as we got hit here in Florida, we really lucked out a lot more than you'd think. For example, I mean, the storm was a Category 5, like right next to Florida. I mean, this thing was still an absolute beast. Cat 5 strength, you know, as it approached Florida, but that upper level wind shear really got a hold of it and started weakening it, or the vertical wind shear started getting a hold of it and weakened it. And then the good news, well, obviously I wouldn't say it's good news. It is good news, but still not good news, if that makes sense. It hit, you know, they're out there by like Cedar Key, or not Cedar Key. What's the name of that place? Out there by Sarasota. What's the name? Sarasota, Siesta Key. There we go. I was thinking Cedar Key's up here. Yeah. Siesta Key. Yeah, hit out there right over Siesta Key, which, like I said, that's south of Tampa. That really made Tampa's impacts a lot milder, thankfully. I mean, because like if that thing literally went over Tampa, and you know continued to its normal path, that would have been catastrophic. I mean, it was already really bad out there in Tampa, but you know, since the storm made landfall a bit more to the south, that by no means still was a very, very, very bad storm for Tampa. But it, like I said, it could have been a lot worse. It really could have. Was there any barrier islands near Sarasota? So let's go pull that map back up for you guys. So out there in Sarasota, we do have some keys. Like I said, Siesta Key. We do have, you know, some islands that would help a bit. But Sarasota still got hit really hard out there. I mean, as you know, Sarasota is very populated. You know, still quite a lot of people out there. But yeah, there is some islands ahead of it. Absolutely. Like, but yeah, they got really hit hard. I mean, even the surges, I mean, past those islands there, towards Sarasota were still very high. Let's see here. EF3 plus tornado. Oh yeah. Milton was a tornado outbreak storm. Thing really. So I was out here in Lakeland, which is where I'm at now. But so I was over here. Now I was planning on riding out the storm. My mom, she was in this area here. I was over here. So I was gonna ride it out in here. I live in a modern mobile home, so it's like it's structurally better than the older ones, but which it was rated for what we were gonna get. But the problem arose whenever I saw there was a wall of tornado warnings to my south, and they were all coming right towards where I was at. And I'm like, all right, you know, nope, I'm getting out of here, because my mom, she went to my brother's, which was a structurally sound location. It was cinder block, which that place wasn't gonna go nowhere. But yeah, once I saw that wall of tornadoes, I'm like, yep, I'm out of here. But luckily, I didn't get hit we didn't get hit by tornadoes. We did have some damage to our place. Skirting around the house was kind of blown in. We did lose some shingles. Oh yeah, it was quite a ride. I would lie if I say I didn't enjoy a good storm. I don't like what they do. Like I said, I hate that they cause damage and they hurt people and, you know, ruin people's lives. I hate that, but a lot of you folks understand it's like having a good storm is pretty cool sometimes. The storm was enjoyable. The aftermath sucked. That's one of the things I absolutely hated. Let's see here. My username say, what's up, man? I was recommended your live when I was hit by Hurricane Milton. Any other hurricanes coming again? Thankfully not, my friend. Nope, we don't got anything else coming. The other thing we are watching here is this little guy. This one's not going to cause any problems for anywhere. There's a lot of misinformation from people saying that Florida's under a risk for another hurricane. That is simply not true. The United States right now is completely not under any form of threat for tropical activity. So we are good, my friend. We are good. The only problem here, like I said, we're watching a storm. I'm going to turn on the cone here too. Oh, what am I doing here? There we go. So yeah, we are watching a storm that's going to be impacting out there towards Belize City. Is that how you say that? Belize? Once again, I'm terrible with names. You guys are going to know. You guys are going to know that pretty soon if you're new here. But yeah, we're getting a potential tropical storm to be making landfall out there tomorrow, late tomorrow morning, early tomorrow afternoon overall. Let's see, what if we run out of names for hurricanes / tropical storms and we have one? We don't got to worry about that for a long time. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. So they're not going to reuse names. I know that, because there'll be a lot of confusion. Watch them just start numbering them. You remember Hurricane 34? Yeah, that was a bad one. I don't know. That's a good question. You know, it's just, luckily I'm not the one who has to determine what they do. So let's see, in Europe, actually, yeah, we don't really cover Europe much, but I think I heard somewhere that there is a storm coming towards Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. Coming there towards the UK out there. We got a pretty big whopping storm, 958 according to GFS. So yeah, we got a big windy storm coming up for the UK here. Big old windstorm. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna get it pretty good. It's about 30, 40 knots in some spots. It's definitely gonna be a pretty good storm up there for Europe, or for the UK, I should say. Anyways, main Europe is doesn't really look like much is gonna go on out there. It looks like we do have high pressure in place. It'll keep a lot of Europe relatively calm. Yeah, and then you got, and then you got the UK up there just getting slammed by that cyclone. So that'll be there for the 20th. Gonna start feeling it the 19th. Yeah, late tomorrow night you're gonna start feeling it, and then you're gonna notice the big part of it's gonna hit the UK right around the 20th, 21st. Let's look at Euro. Let's see, we're gonna pull up Euro, ECMW up here. Euro, here we go. Yeah, showing basically the exact same thing that GFS does. Yeah, it's mainly just the UK we gotta watch out for with the storm here. Let's see, what storm is this? I'm scared. Are you up in Europe or are you in somewhere else? So this one's gonna be a bit windy for like the UK, like I was saying. Quite a windy storm out there. Oh, you're not in Europe? Okay. Yeah, like I said, we don't really cover Europe too much, but I just wanted to talk about that because I did see that. So are you, like I mentioned, the storm that we're really watching right now is back towards here, out there by Mexico. We're watching the eastern Yucatan Peninsula for a potential tropical storm out here. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Once again, the storm could have sustained winds around 40-ish miles an hour, likely higher gusts at that point. We do have those tropical storm watches in effect out there for portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, which you can see there in the yellow. So we are watching out for that. Now, like I mentioned, this storm, as we continue moving to the west here, as we make landfall tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start to, kind of pull to the south a little bit here, and then we're going to go into the eastern Pacific, which, like I said, at that point, this storm could actually become a potential hurricane, actually. Like we mentioned, the models here go a little, like especially HWRF here goes pretty nuts. Look at that. Turns into full saw blade mode. I mean, doesn't it look like a saw blade? Anyways, yeah, look at that. There's a really gnarly looking infrared view according to HWRF. But remember, this model always does crazy stuff like this. HFSA. See here, shows that. HFSB. Yeah, HFSB just doesn't know what the heck to do. Yeah, this model never really got a hold of that storm there. Let's see. Let's pull up. Yeah, we have Euro, stuff like that too. Okay, Euro, pull up 15L here. Yeah, I mean, even Euro picks up on that storm there. But like I mentioned, the good news is that it's not going to be it's not going to make landfall anywhere once it passes through Mexico and stuff. Once it picks its way up into potential hurricane strength in the eastern Pacific, it should not really be a big problem for anywhere, just for the fish out there, But anyways. Alrighty, everybody. Well, I just want to go live for a little bit, just to talk about it. We do got a recon mission. Hurricane hunters are going into that storm tomorrow. So we will be watching that. Like I said, we'll make sure to keep y'all up to date with the storm here. Once again, we might do some coverage on it tomorrow. We're making landfall here at late tomorrow morning, early tomorrow afternoon overall. So we'll have to just see how that plays out and stuff like that. So we'll keep you guys up to date. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. If you haven't already, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button. It'd be much, much appreciated. You guys take care out there. If you have any questions, feel free to join our Discord, which I'll go ahead and throw in the chat here. Like I said, if you guys want to join our Discord, you can chat with us outside of live streams there. And all right, everybody, thanks for joining. Much love to you. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, see you later, guys. See ya in the next one.